All right, welcome back to the podcast. This is the Ask Mama podcast where we take your questions and Mama answers them, and she's got sense, so it should be good advice. Okay, but first off, we're going to get into 5 minutes of trash, a little segment I like to call that because it's just whatever's going on in the world of celebrity or social media. I'm not saying these people are trash. I'm just saying the stuff that we gossip about that has nothing to do with our lives. It's got to be trash,
It's
right?
trash.
I mean, because we don't know these people. We don't have no connection to our everyday lives with these
No.
people, but we find ourselves discussing them on the regular
Right.
as
Yes.
if they're a part of our lives. And I just think that's trash.
Yeah, it's trashy.
Okay. So anyway, this week, what's been going on the internet
On the next intern.
is,
Lord.
Monique went viral on the Shay Shay Room
My God.
quite a few weeks ago, and her son, her oldest son, decided to take to TikTok to kind of use her viral moment for himself. Now, this is just my opinion. I'm just going to start off with my opinion because it's strong. I really resent how millennials have reacted to her eldest son basically dogging his mother out on social media. About how she wasn't a good mother and she wasn't there for him and this, that, and the third. As if Monique hadn't already told everybody that with her first son, which is who we're talking about, she wasn't there because she was trying to build her career and she
did.
wasn't a good mother because she wasn't around a lot. She tried, she did what she could, but other people were helping her take care of him while she was out on the road trying to become who we know today as Monique, the
That's
comedian.
what she said.
So, first of all, to blast somebody who already admitted wrongdoing, because first of all, usually when people do wrong, they're not going to tell you they did wrong. They're not going to apologize. They're not going to admit. She did both.
She did.
Several times throughout the year.
Years ago.
And he acts like it never occurred, and everybody's jumping on the back. I'm not going to say everybody, but a lot of people my age and around my age is sitting up here like, yeah, you speak your truth and you do this, that, and the third. What do y'all think about it?
He'd have got a whooping if it was me.
Oh,
You want to sit up and talk, but I got to say, because I know I was a good mother. I don't even need no.
no, you don't need
I
to.
ain't even got worried
We're
about
not
it
getting
because
into
I
that.
was there and she admitted she wasn't good.
Right.
So to me, that should have been the end of the story. It'd been different if she was out talking about, yeah, I was this, I was that, giving mother advice to other people.
Right.
I never dropped the ball. Then I could see him saying that, come on, lady.
Yeah.
And
You-
then
you
she
were
had
not.
kids after him, and she was better. She was in a healthier relationship
Yeah.
with her husband.
She got
and
help.
she admitted that she was a better mother
Right.
to them.
Right.
My issue comes
Right.
in where this whole grown man is on TikTok. Let me just say this. On TikTok, also, I saw another viral video of just a random black man around my age, early 30s, right? And he was saying, there is no way. He said his mama was a crackhead, okay?
He did.
And his grandmother raised him, and his relationship with his mom is not real good or whatever. He said, but you couldn't pay me money to get on the internet
Right.
and trash my mama like a dog.
Yeah.
You could not pay me anything in this world to do that to my mother. To this day, if somebody says something about my mother, we fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if they weren't the perfect parent or whatever, unless they were actually abusive.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless they were actually like non-existent in your life. That's when you have like a problem. But this dude took money from his mama. She bought him a car,
Take
clothes
care
for
of
his baby, all kind of stuff. He still reaping the benefits of her name.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
even making the TikTok. See, people don't look at the whole thing. This man is a wannabe comedian.
Right.
Well,
And he's using her moment of shine,
Yeah.
her viral moment,
Yeah.
to trash her.
Right. Well,
To get his
It's-
his numbers up.
yeah. Well, going back to you saying the guy who had a mom who was a crackhead, I'm sorry about that.
Right.
You know, people do process things in different ways.
they do.
Right.
You know, it sounds to me that he has a lot of resentment, and he's
Right.
probably envious of the younger kids because
Right.
what's so special about them, you know, that you can make these sacrifices to be with them,
Right.
but you didn't do the same thing
Right.
for me.
Right.
But on the other hand, it also sounds like he's a spoiled little brat.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm talking about.
My thing
Right.
is, at the end
Yeah.
of the day, my
Because-
thing is, you're a grown up.
Yeah.
Like, I am so sick of full adults in their 30s, 40s, 50s.
Oh, my God.
Complaining about their parents. Like, who cares?
Oh, my
Like, this is
God.
on you. You're
Right.
an adult now. You trying to tell me that everything wrong in your life is because of something that you took wrong, or something that happened when you was a child, and you can't get over that? You can't
Good
move
God
on? You can't
Almighty.
grow up?
Maybe that's the truth, but it's hard to, and I will say this from personal experience, it's hard to say to yourself, okay, the reason why I process my emotions like this and the reason why I may feel these ways is because of how I was raised.
Right.
And they were the adults, I was the child.
Right.
But it's hard for you as an adult to say, okay, but it is my responsibility to do the healing of the trauma. Everybody doesn't come to that realization.
Right.
And
That's a
see,
big
this
conclusion.
is the step that I'm taking, though. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the children that have become adults where nothing bad ever really happened to them. They're hyping it up and making it seem like it affected me so deeply, but it didn't. I'm talking about the millennials who are complaining about parents who were just strict. Complaining
Yeah.
about parents who just wanted them to be the best version of themselves and worked on it and was there every day. They talking about soft parenting now. You know, not yelling, not getting upset, not giving your kids whoopings when they out of line, this, that, and the third. I just want to say to everybody out there, we black. In what way is that helpful? You cannot raise black children like any other children. And I stand on that, and I will stand on that to the day I die. You cannot raise black children like everybody else.
Right.
You want to do some
Right.
soft parenting for some other kids, you go right ahead. But in this world, where we got a target on our back from the moment of our birth, you better have a strict parent. You better have somebody that's watching your every move and telling you right from wrong every step of the way, or you not going to survive out here.
Well, that sure
and the
was
ones
me.
that have survived and are now complaining about their parents, but they're doctors and lawyers and movie stars and this, that, and the third. You never would have gotten there.
Yeah.
Like Serena and Venus are a marvel.
Right.
But they will tell you to this day they would
yeah.
not be here without their father.
He was
Yeah.
straight.
Making them practice every day, giving it everything they got,
That's
never
right.
giving up, pushing them and showing them what it takes to survive and what it takes to push through racism and all of the things that they went through. We never would have known them. They'd be in Compton somewhere
Yeah.
with regular jobs.
Well, I was strict. I tell you.
I
But
agree.
I'm just saying, I don't like the children that are now adults complaining about that when there are actual kids who were abused
Yeah.
by their
Yeah.
parents,
Yeah.
who were mentally abused and physically
Yeah,
abused.
them
I'm not
babies.
talking about them.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
They have every right to feel how they feel.
Yeah.
But this boy, Monica's child, okay, she was not there, but you can't tell me she didn't love him.
Yeah.
And somebody took care of him.
And she made sure he was okay when she was gone.
Right.
And let me just say, a lot of people have jobs that take them out of the home, people.
Yeah.
Right.
She ain't the only one.
Right.
There are several men and women that have to travel for work. So you're saying they're terrible human beings for putting food on the table?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Long as she didn't leave him alone. Like if she was traveling and he was in the house.
Right, by himself.
But I'm
Yeah.
sure that
Yeah.
lady left him with somebody.
Yeah.
She didn't just go on the road and be like, okay, here's $20. Have at it. See you later.
You know,
I mean, good God.
Yeah.
it's just, it don't feel right to
No.
me. And I'll never feel
He ain't
okay
right.
with anybody. I'm with old boy on TikTok. I don't care what happened. Do not drag your parents on the internet. Like, have some respect for your family. Have some respect for your privacy and the privacy of your family. Don't be going online talking trash about your family.
Yeah.
It's just not cool to me. It is so lame. It's so weak. You want to talk about that? Go to therapy. Tell your therapist how you feel about your mama.
That's right.
But when you go on TikTok, to me, that's phony. That means I want attention.
Yeah.
This isn't really harming me. I just know I can get a lot of views and a lot of followers if I tell y'all all the tea. That's what this looks like to me.
Now, you know she done retaliated.
Of
And
course.
said, F you.
Yeah,
little boy.
She
So-
did. Well, at first she said, "Let it play out," but
Right.
then he came out with another
Yeah.
video. Like
She
that.
said,
so
"F
he
you, little boy."
But he know how to. That's one thing about kids; they know how to gaslight their
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did.
And she know how to gaslight them back.
Yeah. Well.
It's a mess.
But
It really is trash.
It is a total
right now.
mess. But what I'm saying is, all of y'all that's jumping on this to then talk about your own parents, y'all are trash. Like, get over it or move on, or you ain't even got to get over it. But keep it off the internet.
Yeah.
Right.
I just think that people have a lot of unresolved trauma.
Yeah, I
That
can
they
see
Go
that.
to
help
therapy.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody, even if you ain't going to therapy, talk about it amongst your friends or somebody you feel close to. I'm saying there is a whole nother level of disrespect when you take that personal thing, that thing that you're saying affected your life in this big way, and you're throwing it on the internet for entertainment.
Yeah, it's disingenuous.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It makes
It's
it
real disingenuous.
because if
Yeah.
it was real hurt, do you really get healed by doing it on the internet?
You really don't.
No.
That's all about ego.
See, that's what I'm
saying.
talking about.
Yeah.
Look how
If-
many
if-
likes I got for saying this.
Yeah, if he was really
Yeah.
hurt, he'd be in therapy.
That's
somewhere.
right.
Yeah.
Because
But to do this, that's your healing.
Yeah.
And then you sent it to DL Hughley.
Strategic.
Sure did.
That was
Come on
strategic
now.
for sure.
All right, we done with the trash, y'all.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's a lot.
That's it. We're gonna move on. I just want to say that if you want to ask Mama questions on this podcast, please be sure to follow us on Instagram at Ask Mama Podcast. And if you're listening on Spotify, you can do the same thing. We will only take questions on our Instagram page because we want you to follow us, of course, support, and then send your questions in through the DM, and we will add them to the list for the next episode. And now we're going to spotlight some Black-owned businesses because we do that every single episode because we believe in pushing economic wealth to our Black community. And so I'm going to start us off with the first Black-owned business. And for the most part, we're going to be using a lot of Chicago businesses because we're based here in Chicago, but we will also be glad to spotlight other businesses that are not in Chicago. So if you have a Black-owned business and you want us to spotlight you, you can send that in as a DM on our Instagram as well, free of charge. There's nothing like that. This is all just free exposure. Okay, so my Black-owned business is Sip and Savor. It's a coffee shop / bakery / hangout spot, 5301 South Hyde Park Boulevard. It's a really great place to just sit up because we're boycotting Starbucks for obvious reasons. So if you want to go to a coffee shop instead of that place, Sip and Savor is a great option for you.
All right. Mine is Post Cultural Art Gallery, 2136 West Chicago Avenue. Beautiful place. Check that out.
All right.
Awesome. Mine is Nobody's Darling Bar at 1744 West Balmoral in Chicago, Illinois. They serve up all different type of specialty cocktails and all types of unorthodox drink things. So check them out.
Okay. We got 2 good hangout spots,
Right.
and you can get some culture
Get you some
at
art.
an art
and-
gallery. Get you
That's
some
right.
culture.
That's right.
That's culture.
Please.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to move into the Ask Mama questions.
All right.
Let me start us off with the first question. What do we have here?
Lord.
Okay. I'm dating an alpha male. I really like him, but the sex is bad. What should I do?
Lord have mercy. I was going to say run for the hills, but I ain't going to do you like that.
No, you need to
I ain't gonna
say
do-
what your real answer is.
You need to sit old alpha man down. Calm down, player, and let him know this doesn't work for me. This works for me. That you got to have a conversation, baby. If he's too alpha to fix it, you probably need to move on, because that's not fair in a relationship. And a lot of times as women, we don't really want to hurt nobody's feelings. So this is where this faking thing comes in. And most women I've talked to has faked a time or two.
If you want to get out alive.
But
Seriously.
you shouldn't have to do that continuous. So you need to talk to this man. To just tell him. And if he's offended, or, you the only person that ever said that, well, all women are different. We're not a monolith here, sir. Everybody's body is different. Everything is different. So talk to him. If that doesn't help, I would say move on.
Well,
Sorry.
all right. So my advice is not to talk to him,
Oh.
because I have never seen a man take that in any kind of good way. The moment you bring up whether or not they're good at certain things or anything, because most men in heterosexual relationships, they feel like because it feels good to them, it must feel good to you.
That's
Wow.
most men in general.
And okay,
Oh,
then
yeah.
I'm gonna take that.
Yes.
So
Okay.
what I'm saying is, if you said alpha male for a reason. You wanted us to know what kind of man you're
Right.
with.
Yes.
And we all know that when you're with an alpha male, his ego is as sensitive as a marshmallow. And
Well.
so therefore you're not sexually compatible, and he's not the type of dude that you could say, do this, not that. You can't give him no directions.
Right.
Well.
And so if you can't even give him no directions, you got to get out. And why have a conversation when you already know how it's going to go because of the type of dude he is? You just got to, you got to toss it up.
Yeah.
Because to pretend like your sex life isn't a major part of your relationship that's just crazy. You can
Major.
pretend that all you want. It's not gonna last. You're just gonna become
major.
more and more frustrated with him, and so you're just dragging something out that should have been over. I just think either it works or it don't, especially with that type. Now, if you was with a dude that you knew you could talk to about this,
That's right.
then you have room to play there, because like I said, you could say, hey, do this, not that. or I don't like when you do this, but I like when you do that. You could have those conversations with certain people, but certain people you can't. And the alpha,
So you saying no direction, no erection? Is that what you saying?
Oh my God, Mama!
I'm just saying. Is that what's going on here?
Oh my God.
She kept saying no direction.
Yes, but I wouldn't say that in front of you.
Oh, okay, my bad. My bad.
I would clutch my pearls if I had some on.
Well, okay, my bad. I was just. Well, she kept saying no direction, and all I could hear was.
Oh, Jesus. Lamar, what do you think about this?
What's yours, baby?
Oh,
I'm sorry.
my God.
In my opinion.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Oh my gosh. I think, well, first of all, you should come to the realization of what's most important. Is having an alpha male the most important thing, or is having great sex the most important thing?
I think what she's saying is have an alpha that is good at sex.
Right.
Because
And
that's
possible.
a nice combination.
That's possible.
It's possible, but it's kind of hard to find. I would say that instead of you maybe sitting down and having a conversation with him, be very strategic. While you guys are in the act, maybe if you say in the moment, oh, do this or do something else, and then if he does it and gets it right, act like it's the best thing ever in life.
Yeah.
That'll stroke his ego, but give you what you want at the same time.
Unless it's a time issue. Right? Because that's really what this usually comes down to. Like, it's over before you can, I mean, what can you say?
Oh, that's messed up.
Because that's usually the issue. When you start talking about, like, you know, do this or do that, that's if you're saying you already have somebody that can put some time into the act.
Yeah.
But I think that usually it's a time issue. And you can't do nothing about that.
Well,
I mean, not that I know of. I mean, you could take some pills. I know they could take pills and stuff.
It's doctors.
But
Doctors.
there's
for that.
pills for that and
That's
everything
real
else.
unfortunate.
But that's usually the case.
Okay, that
My.
baby guy, he's got to get his mind in order.
I mean, we
Yeah.
don't know it. I'm
Concentrate,
just saying
sir.
that's,
Think about a hummingbird.
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, or
I'm not saying that's what it
that's
is.
what it
That's
is.
usually what it is. We can't speak on specifics, but I'm just
it could be
saying
a lot of
if
stuff.
it's a time issue, that you need to go.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
Yeah.
Float on.
Instead of, for me, I think it's the delivery. Instead of saying, well, it's not that great, maybe you should say it in this way. Have you ever tried? Maybe that might be different.
I
Maybe
would
you might be
just-
open to
So
experimenting.
y'all both are saying, let's just close it up. You're both saying that some kind of conversation should be had.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to tell
I'm
him.
saying no,
You
get
saying
out,
direction
go.
or
Beat
no,
it.
That's
we
it.
got yours.
Okay. Okay, Lamar, what's your question?
Okay. So my question is, dear mama, when and how should you transition your baby or toddler to their own rooms for bedtime?
Ooh, I think that is so individual. Because, you know, if you had your first baby, you're so nervous. I literally had my baby in the little bassinet next to my bed with my hand on his back just to make sure he's breathing all night.
Oh.
I couldn't separate. So I just kept my hand on his little back and made sure it was breathing. And so by the time he got in the bed by himself, he maybe close to 2. But again, that bed was still in my room. And I could just look at him. And so I think it's such an individual call to do that.
Pull your braid down on me.
I really
Down.
think it's an individual call
Yeah.
to put them in the bed. But they've got so much stuff now, monitors, and they can hear the baby coo and wake up and everything. So with a monitor, you can put them in a car. I wouldn't put them in a car, but I'm just saying. It's an individual.
Oh my God.
It's an individual.
We need
thing.
a doggone disclaimer.
Mama's on the road tonight, baby.
We are
sorry.
not advising
We're not advising you to put
to
him
go
in the
to
car.
sleep with your baby in the car. Absolutely
I can
not,
hear him on
America.
the monitor. But no, I really do think that's individual. You?
I don't want to be a part of it. No, I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, I think do what makes you most comfortable. I know that when I was like watching my nephew when he was a baby, I was terrified when I first started watching him because I had never babysat a baby. So I know that for me it was intense. And I had to do whatever was comfortable for me.
Yeah.
And usually that means being a little bit, aggressive as far as watching them like a hawk and do what you feel like doing because it's about you
It is.
being comfortable. Because if you're not comfortable with the baby, I don't care if it's a monitor or not. A
Yeah.
monitor wouldn't have even helped me.
Yeah.
Like I needed to lay my eyes on him and make sure he didn't roll out of the bed or climb out of, you see these videos of these
Right.
babies like Spider-Man getting out of these doggone beds.
They
and
do.
They ended up on the
They
top of the
do.
refrigerator. I'm like, oh my
God.
God. I mean, so I was just terrified that he was
Yeah,
just going to be like
you
one of them
better watch
genius
him.
babies and he'd end up like on the stove
my
or something.
God.
Talking about, you want some eggs?
Oh,
Like,
Lord.
no. And so I feel you should you
sure
keep
better
your
watch
baby
him.
in your room as long as you want to have them in your room.
Yep.
Because they're safer with you regardless.
That's right.
Oh, that's precious.
It was.
Now, I do not have children, but I can think back to when I was a little kid and how hard it was for my mother to get me out of her room. It took years. I was like
Wow.
8 years old when she
wait.
finally managed
What?
to get me out of her room.
Yeah.
So, because I was like, oh no. And I'm sure she probably felt the same way. When I was a baby, I gotta have my baby with me.
Right.
Yeah.
And honey, then it was like, well, we're sleeping together every night.
Right.
So when I have my own room now, I'm not sleeping in here by
Right.
myself. Are you crazy?
Right.
It's dark. And
Yeah.
oh no, I don't
It
care
can
if it is.
backfire
Yeah.
if you do it too long.
Yes.
Right.
You gotta be, I wasn't talking about 8. I was talking about maybe like 3.
Yeah, 8 is.
Okay? I wasn't talking about 8.
She probably tried at 4. And it took 4 years
Wow.
for me to
But
get
you're an only child, too.
Right.
See, if
Yeah.
you got at least 2, it's easy.
Because
Because
then we
now
can
you
sleep
in the-
together.
now
Yeah.
Melly can't.
Yeah.
Now they
Yeah.
in the room together, so it's not
It's
a big
way
deal.
Perfect.
easier because you're
Then-
not alone.
Then they okay.
Right. I'm scared
Yeah.
to death.
Right.
Yeah, it is scary to
It's
sleep
scary
by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we answered that question good. Let us move on. Let us go. No, they don't even know
Into
that.
the
The opera.
opera.
That's an inside joke. We'll explain that one day, but that's a choir
Yes,
joke right
yes,
there.
yes.
That's a choir joke.
Don't you know it too?
Every
He knows,
time.
he knows it. You see how he came in.
I know he do. Okay, next question is just found out online that my partner of 3 years has been in prison before. I wonder what else he's lying about. What should I do?
I think I'd let him know. Found out you were in prison online. Because I do that. You want to know who you're with. I don't see anything wrong with researching who you're with, especially in this day and age. And I would confront him with it and find out, why didn't you tell me about this? And is there anything else I ought to know? Because I probably have found that out too. If he's RA'd someone, I would be like, okay, no, I can't do this. Or abused children or had something to do with abusing a child. We're I can't be with that, especially if you hid it. I'd leave that alone. But if it was something minor, talk about it, if his reasoning was, it wasn't a big deal, I just didn't mention it, then if you've got feelings for him and he's been a good guy to you, I'd hang on to it. But it really would depend on what he was in prison for that would determine whether I'd let him go, for sure.
Well, I mean, prison is not a minor offense. So you did something of felony status to be in prison, not jail. Also, for me, the trust would be completely gone. And I don't continue any relationship, whether it's romantic or friend or whatever, with anybody I don't trust. And I don't know how that person, there is no excuse for not telling somebody, I understand when you're trying to get a job, you may not want them to know you were in jail, you were in prison, but when you're in a relationship, 3 years.
It's 3 years.
This ain't even, we're not even talking about the dating stage of the relationship where y'all wasn't even committed yet and he didn't tell you and you found this out. You've been with him for 3 years and he never said anything. And he never intended, that tells me he never intended to say anything. Right. Because it's been 3 years. Because after 1 year of being with somebody, I should know everything.
Bingo.
And so that to me is like a red flag. That means that this is not, we're not in the relationship I thought we were in. And if you didn't trust me enough to tell me the truth and let me deal with that, then I'm just totally done. I can't work even on a relationship that has no trust in it.
I would say that it's the lie for me. It's the withholding of the truth for me, or withholding anything. Because, like you said, what else are you withholding? Right. And I had to find it out online. Yeah. So there you go. The breach of trust. I feel like me personally would totally run from the situation. I would end it if it were me. Just because that's something that I should know before we even get serious in a relationship. Yeah. We need to have had that conversation. Yeah. Maybe you didn't do it. Maybe you did do it. Whatever it was, that's a pretty major thing that I think we should have talked about. I should know this. 3 years in.
And what happened? Right. Like Mama was saying.
That's the question.
Just hold on. So what happened for you to go? Yeah. What crime did you commit? But also beyond that, what happened in prison? Right. Because if you were beaten, if you were abused, if whatever happened, anyway. All of those things, if you did something to somebody else, like what went on in there? Because that also
speaks to your character.
Exactly. Like, were you a model prisoner, or was there something else going on, or did some bad stuff happen to you? And one night, maybe something's going to click off in your brain and you going to attack me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when the trauma of prison has been documented, that just like men and women who go to the Army, PTSD is a real thing, and it happens to ex-prisoners. And you are technically putting my life on the line, because you don't even know when you gonna go off, or if you ever do, and you put me in that without my knowledge. Right. So it's a wrap.
That's true, but to me, it really depends. What did you do? I mean, you could have been in a car with somebody that had something on them that they shouldn't have, and you were just in there. Right. But you're going to jail too.
Right.
But so you just
I was talking separately about. Yes, we don't know what he did, but I'm saying it doesn't matter what he did. You spent the time in prison. Yeah. What happened in prison affects who you are now, and affects your reasoning as to why you never told me.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's all attached. Because if you went to jail for something you didn't do, If I went to prison for something I didn't do, it would be the first thing out of my mouth.
Yeah, I spent 3 years.
And
but
I
just
spent
gotta
3
tell you
years in this
this.
terrible
Yeah.
place, and all this stuff happened to me. Like, especially in a 3-year relationship, you
Right.
cannot account for all this time, sir.
Right.
Because you're going to find out nowadays. Because all you got to do is go online. You can just research.
Right.
And you'll find what that person did.
And that's public knowledge.
It
Yes,
is
it
public.
is.
So you may as well, you may as well just tell.
But he got away with it for 3 years. So
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. But I'm sorry. I think it's over. And that's just it for me. Are you saying you think it's over?
It's over.
Mama?
Yeah,
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
it's over, baby.
All right. Lamar, what's your next question?
All right. So my next question is, dear mama, do you feel it is okay to cut off toxic family members even if they're your parents?
Yes, I do, unfortunately. Now, disrespect them, no. But to make distance for your own mental well-being, I do, because that parent could be a narcissist. And you got to make distance between yourself and a narcissistic person. You don't have to disrespect them, though. That I don't believe in. But you have a right as to take care of your own person. You have a right to distance that toxicity. That is what I believe.
This is something that I am very good at doing. And I say that not to like gloat, but I've registered over the years becoming an adult that it is a trait that has helped me throughout my life. Being able to subtract the people, family, blood from my life that mean me no good, that actually mean me harm, right? In quite a few cases. And being able to step away from those people and put distance from them without disrespect. And let's talk a little bit more about that, because I was raised not to disrespect my elders. So I'm never going to step up on, an elder in my family that I have nothing to do with. Even if I have to see that person from time to time or whatever, I'm never going to come at them crazy, because that's how I was raised. But what I'm talking about with disrespect goes even further than that. It's just being mean, being cruel, going out of your way to make their lives harder because you don't like them, or you don't want to be around them. So you're going to think of things to do to them, to gaslight them, or to hurt their feelings or whatever. That's where you lose me. Because you can have them out of your life. I also believe that you should explain to them why, if they want to know. Why don't you ever call me? Why don't you ever come visit me? Why is this like this? I have no problem, and I have done it. Explain to them specifically why.
That's right.
I have nothing to do with them. I've done it to everybody that I have nothing to do with. If they approach me about it, want to know, you explain yourself, because that's a part of respect. That's a part of respecting your family. Whether or not we agree to combine lives and be in each other's lives is irrelevant. I still respect you. You're in my family. And I believe in showing that. What I don't like is how, and I hear people do it, and I see people do it. They don't like somebody, let's say it's a cousin or an auntie or something, and they'll talk about them like a dog with other people in the family. They'll go out of their way to be dismissive to them or treat them bad when we all come together at family events. You know what I'm saying? They won't speak. Those types of things. I'm not doing that. If we're at a family thing and maybe I don't really mess with you like that, I'm going to say, hey, how you doing? I'm good.
Absolutely.
That is what I'm talking about. However, people today take it so much further. They go out of their way to be mean and cruel and gaslighting their family members to get them to blow up. So you're like, see, that's why I don't mess with her, because she always going off on somebody. You set her up.
A provocative
and you
victim.
know you did.
Provocative victim,
And nobody can gaslight you like your family.
Right.
Yep. Because they know you.
Nobody.
They know.
Because
they know
they've
in and out.
known you since you was crawling around. And for the most part, y'all was crawling around together.
Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, so that's
Well.
why I don't like that. And I think that is the major issue that I see. There's nothing wrong with pushing people back.
Push them back.
I push them back.
Yeah.
But you said respectful.
But you can definitely
I
always be
definitely-
respectful.
Absolutely.
That's how I was raised. And I know that's how they were raised too. So when they do that, when they act that way, I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
right, not cool.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. It can be hard, especially if you're an empathic person.
Yes.
To separate yourself from people who are in your family and from people who you love in general.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that you really do have to hone in and focus on what is the best thing for you emotionally and mentally to do. Some people you really do have to separate yourself from and say, you know what, I'm not going to have anything to do with you. And although I'm not going to be disrespectful, I don't even want to see you or talk to you. I don't even want to be around you, because that's the best thing for me to do. I think it's hard when, you have family functions and you might have been with someone who violated you in any way that may be there. And it's hard to be in the presence of that person who has wronged you
Yeah.
and act like there's nothing wrong, or that I'm over it, or I don't have any emotion behind it. Because you can kind of look at it like, well, you're getting away with this scot-free. And why? When I have to deal with the pain and the trauma of this forever, or whatever the case may be. But you still love the person. So it's like a catch-22. It could be really, really difficult. But I think putting yourself first is what you need to do. And that may seem selfish to an empathic person.
Right.
But you have to do it in the long run in order to be the healthiest.
There
that you
are
can be.
some events that you can't go to. I will say that as well.
Yeah.
Like there are certain people in my family, I can't be in the same room with them.
Yeah.
So what I do is I call ahead. And I also I'll let my whole family know.
Yeah.
So don't even invite me to something you've invited this person to, because you
Right.
know I don't want to be in that room with that person.
I do have
So
that
I
too.
call
Yeah.
ahead and be like, yo, who's going to be there? You have to go that extra mile, even with your family, especially if somebody has caused you harm.
Yeah.
And you know you don't want to be in the same room with them. I call ahead. And then there's sometimes where it's like, okay, well, it's like, man, why can't the family all come together? Because they can't. Grow up.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. So if you got a birthday party and you want everybody to come, everybody can't come. And that's on you. That's just what you get.
Yeah.
But I believe in being honest with people. And just standing on business.
And-
like, I'm not going to that because you know why.
And that might be best, because that'll add to the peace. Why would you want to have something and people are
and you know
On
how
at
that
odds
go.
with each
You
other?
know how that
And-
go when it
yes.
blows up.
something may blow
always.
up. So to keep things at peace, use some wisdom.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to everything.
And stop. And this is another thing. I just gotta say it because it's one of my pet peeves. You done hit one of my pet peeves with this question right here, okay? But stop getting all, like, for the person who is not hurt by whatever went on, have enough respect for me and my feelings to get over your little discomfort of everybody not being invited to the party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because something real happened to me. This is a party.
Yes.
This is a barbecue.
Right.
This is a graduation. You know what I'm saying? These are little events.
Right.
This is a trauma that I went through with this person. So do not belittle my trauma for your event.
Right.
And say, oh, we're all family. You're belittling my trauma. And so that will make me not want to mess with you either. You can be put on the list too. As a matter of fact, some people are on that list because of that reason, because they didn't respect my boundaries. And that's really what this is about.
Yeah.
Like, it's about boundaries. And you have to be strong about your boundaries, because or else people will walk all the way through them.
See, and see, you can catch a case like that.
Yeah.
Sure can.
So it is somebody in my lineage that I've told them, if that person is there, don't invite me. And they know why. What they did in the family and to someone in the family, because you don't want to confront them.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't add me into this, because see, I'll be the one ended up in prison.
And that's respect. That's the respect that we're all talking about on this subject.
So leave them alone. If that's what they say they need, give it to them. Respect it.
All right, y'all. We done really hit some good questions this week. We hope you guys have enjoyed the question segment of this episode. But now we're going to move on to one of my favorite parts, which is recommendations.
All right.
And we're going to start with TV or movies. My recommendation for this week is a show that is on Hulu, and it's called Will Trent. And the second season just began this week. The first season is awesome. It's a cop show, but it's based in Atlanta, and the cop is he's a real cool dude. I really like him. He was an orphan. My girl from The Wire is in it. She's like the head of I forget her name on The Wire, but you know the black lady
Can
that was.
I watch Will Trent?
Yes, you can definitely watch Will Trent. And it's all these like murder mysteries, and he figures out who did it, and he's got this little cute dog. It's just a funny, good like show, and I love his partner. It's also a black woman, young black actress, and she's incredible. I love her, and I'm so glad they got a second season. I was really scared because of the strike and everything. A lot of shows were up in the air. And so when I saw the promos that the second season was coming, I was like, oh my God, thank God. Because this is one of my favorite shows.
No.
Check it out because it's really good. I really like that show. And also, I just want to point out, this was one of the shows that I recommended a few episodes ago. But Survival of the Thickest got a second season, y'all.
I saw
I'm getting my
that.
second season.
Oh, that's nice.
I haven't even finished the first season yet, so I need to go back and start it over.
This is my year. It's my year.
It's your year.
It's my year. So I got two shows that done came back.
Wow.
And so what's your recommendation?
Mine is called The Greatest Night of Pop. My bad. Oh, Lord. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, Michael.
That's great. She said it.
I said
so
it.
precise.
I'm sorry,
The
Lord.
greatest night of poop.
Oh, not of poop, of pop. Jesus. When you have indigestion.
Oh my God.
Diarrhea.
They are not
my
a
God.
sponsor of
No,
this
no.
episode.
My bad.
But y'all can be.
It's
Wow.
Wow. I mean, The Greatest Night of Pop, people. It's on Netflix. I'm sorry, but it was fantastic. Y'all really ain't right. Can a person make a mistake?
I'm trying to think because I'm trying so hard not to laugh. It's like making it worse.
Oh my God. My bad. Y'all really ain't no good. Okay.
You know, she gonna say something crazy. Right. And it's our fault.
Right. That is hilarious.
It's on Netflix, y'all.
All right.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Poochie.
My recommendation is 1001. And it is the movie that starred Tiana Taylor. Amazing movie. Brilliant movie. If you
Okay.
have not seen it, please go on Amazon Prime or wherever you get your movies
All right now.
Okay.
and check it out.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, and she's gonna be who's she gonna be playing?
Dionne Warwick.
Dionne Warwick
Can't
very
wait.
soon. So
Me neither.
yeah, I want to see that.
Now, I
and
might go to the movie theaters for that.
I want to go.
I wanna see
those
that.
Gowns.
Yes.
Oh, they better do it right too.
Oh, you know they gonna do it right. They gonna do it right. Oh my
Ooh,
God.
that's
That's
gonna
a
be
jam.
Okay.
baby.
Okay, let's do books next.
Okay.
Recommendation for books. So my recommendation is The Black Poets, a new anthology edited by Dudley Randall. I got this book in college when I was in my African American Studies class, and it has, I mean, it's a real anthology, so it has poetry from people you've never heard of. Of course, it's got Nikki Giovanni and Langston Hughes in there, all the big names, but all of these names that you've never heard too. And it just opened my eyes and my mind to all the great works that are so hidden from us.
Yes, yes.
Just the most beautiful poetry that you've ever heard, and all of the little poems are there and in order, and you can literally turn the page, open it up to any page, and just be mesmerized by how beautiful the poetry
That is
is.
beautiful.
And yeah, it was. I've held on to this book. It's like all like old, and I've been going through this book because I got it used when I first got it anyway for class. But I have held on to this book. It has gone with me through college and through every apartment I've had. So
Nice.
I love this book. I think every Black educated person should own this book. It's a beautiful book. And it's our history.
Yeah.
It really is. Because
Nice.
it goes all the way back to the early 1900s.
Good God. Wow.
That's a treasure.
It
It
is.
is. Wow.
Well, my book is Foxy by Pam Grier.
All right.
One of my precious boos who I absolutely adore. What a life she had. Her book, wow, I laughed, I cried, I wanted to hug her, and just love her. Great book.
Wow.
Yeah, I would love to hear her story.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
All right.
All right.
Lamar.
My book is The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter Woodson Goodwin.
All right.
Excellent book.
Yes.
Or Goodwin Woodson, sorry. From 1933, and it is a phenomenal book about, literally the miseducation of Negro people or Black people, especially back when this book was published.
Right.
And also the mental and psychological effects of slavery that we still deal with
Absolutely.
to this day.
Right.
PTSD.
It's literally passed down through our DNA. So it's a great, great book, and I highly recommend you check it out.
It is.
Definitely. Yes. Okay, let's do music for the last recommendation. For me, I'm going to take it all the way back.
Okay.
This used to be my jam. I mean, in school, this was my song of all songs. Lupe Fiasco, Kick Push.
Oh,
From his
wow.
debut album, Food and Liquor. When this song came
Food and
out and I
Liquor.
had my skateboard, you couldn't tell me I wasn't out there. Kick, push, kick, push, kick, push, kick, push,
All right.
coast. I mean, this was it
Listen,
for me. And
what?
it was like being seen. Like, we were Black, we had our skateboards, and you just didn't see
Nice.
that. And he came out, and he was from Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah.
I was like, this can't
Yes.
be happening.
Yeah.
He knows we here, y'all.
Yes, we
here.
made it.
And so I just, it's still like, I can throw it on right now and just be in the zone. It's been on all my playlists since high school.
That's awesome.
Okay, Ma.
Kick push. I'm going back also. I'm always in old school crates for y'all that know what that means. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On?
All right.
classic hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still apropos today.
Yes.
I'm still asking Marvin,
Sad.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful song.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my recommendation, okay, so I love Aretha Franklin. I know the 60s Aretha Franklin, 70s Aretha Franklin, some of the 80s stuff, but I really wasn't too, very familiar with it. The 90s, of course, we know Rose is Still a Rose. Of course, that's really my
That's a jam.
introduction to Aretha.
Wow.
And then I was able to know, oh, that's the lady who sings A Rose is Still a Rose, right?
Okay.
I found this song by happenstance. YouTube suggested it to me. It is called Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy
And
Lee.
it is a jam.
It's
and
from
she
the
sings it so good.
from the
Yeah.
80s.
It's from the 80s. It's
Oh.
like mid-80s, like 85, 86.
Okay.
And it's so good. And she tells a story. And this, to the point where I'm like, oh, is this probably kind of your real life?
Autobiographic. Jimmy Lee.
Jimmy Lee, baby. It's on repeat. Like it just came out.
Wow.
Because she sings it so good.
She do.
And it starts off, it's a very interesting song.
Storytelling
Yeah.
type song.
All right. Well, hey y'all, we hope y'all enjoyed our recommendations, and if you like our recommendations from this episode, please be sure to look back at our other episodes. I think we got this will be number 6, but we got 5 other episodes you can check out, full of recommendations, full of questions. We're really just getting started with this podcast, and we really enjoy what we're building here together, and hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. If you are enjoying the podcast, please give us a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching this, and subscribe to us on Spotify as well. And like I said, if you want to send us questions, you can DM us on Instagram at Ask Mama Podcast. And if you have a Black-owned business, you can also send that in through our Instagram page. We also now have a TikTok page, which is also called Ask Mama Podcast. So if you're more of a TikTok person, you can DM us on TikTok and ask your question. So, yeah, that's it for the episode, y'all.
All right. That
We'll
was
see
fun.
y'all next week.
All right. Stay safe.
All right, yes,
Yes.
definitely stay safe. We love y'all.
All right.
Peace.